Welcome to the 10 Minutes Gold Mine, where every book gives you a treasure of knowledge in just 10 minutes. The Courage to be Disliked, Ichiro Kishimi and Fumite Koga. Introduction. In The Courage to be Disliked, authors Ichiro Kishimi and Fumite Koga delve into the philosophy of Alfred Adler, a psychologist whose theories are often overshadowed by the works of Freud and Jung. Through a fictional dialogue between a philosopher and a young man, this book explores how we can break free from the limitations of past experiences and societal expectations. The conversation unveils how one can develop the courage to live authentically, embrace personal growth, and take control of their own destiny. The book offers practical advice and philosophical insights on achieving happiness, overcoming fear, and gaining the courage to live a life true to oneself. Part 1. The concept of separation of tasks. One of the key ideas introduced early on in the book is the separation of tasks, which forms the foundation of Adlerian psychology. The philosopher explains that many of the challenges and stresses we face in life come from mixing our own tasks with those of others. In other words, we often try to take responsibility for things that are beyond our control, such as other people's feelings, judgments, and actions. The philosopher urges the young man to understand that there are two types of tasks: your own task and the task of others. For example, when someone criticizes you, it's their task to deal with their own thoughts and opinions, not yours. We often find ourselves carrying emotional burdens because we believe it's our responsibility to change or control how others see us. However, when we realize that other people's actions and thoughts are not our responsibility, we can let go of the need to control or alter them. This is one of the first steps toward living freely and peacefully. Furthermore, the philosopher emphasizes that the desire for approval and acceptance is one of the most common traps that people fall into. We tend to prioritize the opinions of others, often at the expense of our own happiness. Instead of seeking external validation, we should focus on living in alignment with our own values and goals. This shift in mindset leads to a greater sense of autonomy and allows for personal freedom. Part 2. The Pursuit of Happiness Through Contribution. In the second part of the book, the philosopher introduces another profound idea: the pursuit of happiness through contribution. According to Adlerian psychology, happiness does not come from material success or social recognition but rather from contributing to the welfare of others. True fulfillment is found in serving others and building meaningful connections with those around us. The philosopher argues that we often find ourselves caught up in the cycle of inferiority, where we feel inadequate or unworthy because we compare ourselves to others. This feeling of needing to prove ourselves is a major barrier to happiness. Instead of focusing on competing or seeking recognition, we should redirect our attention toward how we can contribute to society and make a positive impact. Adler's idea is that happiness is not a destination or an external achievement but a byproduct of living a life rooted in contribution. By focusing on helping others and cooperating within our communities, we develop a sense of belonging and self-worth. The philosopher guides the young man to understand that success is not about being better than others but about creating a life of purpose through positive action. Part 3. Overcoming the Fear of Rejection. Another common theme explored in The Courage to be Disliked is the fear of rejection. The young man often struggles with how to handle criticism, judgment, and the constant worry of not fitting in. He is paralyzed by the idea that if others don't like him or approve of his actions, it would mean that he is a failure or unworthy. However, the philosopher continually teaches him that fear of rejection is a normal part of the human experience, but it is something we must learn to overcome. The key to handling rejection is courage. The philosopher emphasizes that seeking approval from others is a futile and exhausting pursuit. It's not about making everyone like you but about being authentic and true to yourself, regardless of others' opinions. The courage to be disliked comes from accepting that we cannot control how others perceive us. This radical shift in perspective allows the young man to see that being disliked by others does not define his worth. Instead of fearing judgment, he can focus on living his life with integrity, knowing that his value is not determined by external factors. This concept is revolutionary for those trapped in the cycle of people-pleasing, and it opens the door to personal freedom and inner peace. Part 4. The Power of Choice. One of the most empowering ideas discussed in the book is the power of choice. The philosopher emphasizes that we are not victims of our circumstances or past experiences. We are not defined by our childhood, our traumas, or the people who have hurt us. Instead, we have the ability to choose how we respond to the world and how we perceive ourselves. Adlerian psychology teaches that we are the architects of our own lives. No one else has the power to control how we think or feel. The young man is initially stuck in the belief that his past experiences dictate his future. However, through the dialogue, the philosopher helps him realize that his past does not have to define his future. By understanding that we have the ability to choose our reactions, we free ourselves from the limitations imposed by past experiences. This understanding of personal choice is a powerful tool for overcoming fear, anxiety, and feelings of powerlessness. When we embrace the idea that we have the power to shape our own lives, we can take responsibility for our actions and choices, which empowers us to live authentically. Part 5. Life is not about seeking perfection. As the book progresses, the philosopher challenges the young man's obsession with perfection. The young man is constantly striving to meet unrealistic standards and comparing himself to others. He believes that happiness will come once he achieves perfection in all aspects of his life. However, the philosopher points out that this pursuit of perfection is a never-ending and exhausting cycle. Instead of aiming for perfection, the philosopher advocates for focusing on progress rather than perfection. Life is not about being flawless or always succeeding but about continuously learning, growing, and evolving. Embracing imperfections and accepting that mistakes are part of the process leads to greater self-compassion and resilience. The philosopher helps the young man realize that it is not about being the best but about being the best version of yourself. This shift in mindset encourages readers to let go of the pressure to be perfect and embrace a more compassionate and realistic approach to life. By accepting imperfections, we open ourselves up to growth, creativity, and true happiness. Conclusion. Embracing courage. At the end of the book, the philosopher leaves the young man with a powerful message: the courage to be disliked is the courage to live authentically. It is the courage to be true to yourself, to follow your values, and to live without the constant need for external validation. The real key to happiness lies not in being liked by everyone but in liking yourself and living with integrity. The book emphasizes that true freedom comes from within. By accepting the separation of tasks, embracing contribution, overcoming fear of rejection, recognizing the power of choice, and letting go of perfection, we can live lives full of purpose, authenticity, and fulfillment. The courage to be disliked allows us to create a life that is uniquely our own, free from the constraints of societal expectations and the opinions of others. The message is clear: don't let fear or past experiences control your future. You have the power to choose how to live your life, and it's never too late to start. The courage to be disliked is the key to unlocking true happiness and personal freedom. Are you ready to let go of the fear of rejection and live life on your own terms? How can you start applying these principles today? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. That's it for today's 10 Minutes Gold Mine. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep mining for more golden knowledge. See you in the next one.